couple of people asked me if I would be willing to play the electric guitars a little bit and show a few techniques that I like to use on it, and absolutely don't mind. In fact, the electric versions that I have, well, I have Fender and I have Gibson. I can probably show a couple of different ones on different lessons. So, and it is a different thing. And when I play, mostly when I play out, I'll use the standard for some songs, a few songs, maybe even the first hour, and then after that I always switch to one of my Fenders, or, well, actually more of the Gibsons anymore than the Fenders. This one here is an old Strat. It's not real old, it's probably 25 years old or so, and but it's been a good one, and I used it for many years, and right now I'm using a Gibson, and I'll bring it in maybe in a couple of lessons and play it for a while. Anyway, the idea behind the electric is that it's a lot easier to play. You can get over real fast. And do all kinds of good little things that very much more difficult to play on the standard to do. You can do some of it, but you get down on the neck down here, it gets a little harder. It's a little tighter and a little tougher to push it down. So the electric gives you a lot of freedom when it comes to mobility. Also, something that you can do with the electric is you can do a lot of speed work. And you can move like that. Well, I'm just goofing around, but that's the idea. I mean, you can move so much faster on the electric than you can on the standard. And if you're just playing, something like that, you can probably get that pretty much on your standard too. But this gives you a lot more options, and a lot of guys like to use. I got an old fuzz down here that I sometimes use, and got a couple others. But anyway, if you want to kind of extend your sound out, this gives you that. Gives you that ability to hold that sound out, you know, if you're playing some blues stuff. And it gives you, it just kind of holds and gives you a little fuzzy sound, and anyway, there's all kinds of sounds. And nowadays, with all the digital capabilities that the amps and all these pedals have, you can just get all kinds of sounds. I remember back in the early 60s, I got a fuzz tone and a wah-wah pedal, and they were just one of the first ones around here, and people would just come to because they were curious and wanted to see how I was able to do that, you know. And before you know it, though, within a couple of months, everybody had one, and that was nice because everybody started learning to play. And nowadays, people, you know, have all kinds of nice little techniques and like the little things that they play. And so, but anyway, this first lesson I'm not going to get into too much, other than to show you just some of the basics. If you're in your A, again, you're within the realms basically of the 2nd fret and the 4th fret. Maybe maybe the 5th fret there occasionally, but and then if you move into your D, and you can just kind of sit around once you get those, and once you get your F chords down, you can do that same kind of thing. And that fuzz tone gives you that ability to be able to hold those notes out and bring them together, and covers up some mistakes every once in a while too. So that's kind of nice to have, because we all make them, and if you're like me, you probably make more than most. So and a lot of times you really do your best on the playing field, so to speak, when you're with the group and you're playing and everybody's really getting down and getting in that zone, so to speak. Just sitting around, it's a little harder, especially when you're sitting by yourself. That's why a lot of guys, including myself, like to use the standard, because it's just kind of a fuller, more complete sound that you can get. Whereas the guitar, I mean, here, you can play some rhythms on it. I mean, you can play a lot of rhythms on it, all different things, but you still get that electrical sound. Whereas the standard, you get the full sound of all the resonation from the body of the guitar itself. Whereas this thing doesn't resonate very much because it's solid wood. Anyway, but it's still a nice instrument, and we can get into several different ways that it makes it. I mean, you can there's all kinds of things you can do, and with the electric, particularly if you ever get into any kind of recording kinds of things, you'll find that you can just really do some really neat things and get some really neat sounds for your songs and for the patterns that you're putting together, or whatever you're doing. So anyway, keep on picking with these things, and I will start including some electrical work as I go, and show you some other electric guitars and maybe some of the differences. This actually has I don't have the tremolo bar on it. It's in my case because I don't use it a lot, and it always gets in my way. So I take it off, but I should have it for recording purposes, because I end up doing this, and that's not really the best way to do it, nor is it the easiest way. But this one, that's a nice feature of it, and it has different sounds. More trebly, brighter, not much difference. A little more smooth, maybe if you want to. Maybe do a little more jazzy kinds of things, but anyway, that's the Strat, and I'll bring it back some more as we go along. But for now, just keep on picking, and I think if you have an electric, you'll probably I'll probably be able to show you some things that you'll like, and maybe will help you become a little better on your techniques and things. Alrighty, we'll see you in the next lesson.